Hello, everyone. My name is Maya Santana Pilar, and I am the MC for tonight's event. Um, I'm the executive officer of Miss Canada Glow Productions, and tonight I am with a very special lady. Um, she was crowned Miss Canadian Tourism International 2019-2020, and she's no other than Tristan Johnson, England. How are you, Tristan?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Maya. How are you?
I'm good. So, how are you doing in Saskatchewan? How's the COVID situation there?
Um, so far through our numbers going on the polls, we're staying right there. We're not getting more infected, and we're having the same amount of recoveries. So that's good. That's about where we are in Saskatchewan. However, we've got a plan going on. They were discussing about a 4-phase program of opening Saskatchewan up again. So Saskatchewan's very excited for that, and especially with our warm weather coming around.
Okay, so you actually it's like raining season right now. I hope that you guys don't get affected with the flood.
Some places in Saskatchewan does get floods. However, where I am specifically, we don't get too many floods other than a couple areas in like the valley. But
Okay.
Saskatchewan's for floods or for not having them.
Okay, so let's talk about your journey with the MCGP. So, how did it all started for you?
Well, it was one night on Facebook. I saw an ad there and I was studying for an exam and I figured, okay, why not fill out the application? Little did I know I was actually qualified for everything, and that's where it started. From there on, I got in contact and we discussed the different kinds of things I'm going to have to learn and prepare myself for our 10-day pageant, which was absolutely phenomenal. I'm sure we're going to touch on that again soon. But the MCGP experience has been wonderful, and I would definitely recommend it to as many people as I could.
Okay, before we go on with the pageant journey, I'm sure a lot of people would like to get to know about you, Tristan. So kindly brief everybody in regards to your life, like your biography.
All right. So for my personal friends who know me, they already know this and they think this is absolutely wonderful. I was not a girly girl. Absolutely not. You looked at me and I would normally wear the baggy clothes and sweats and covering myself up. I wasn't very confident in myself, and I didn't really like dressing up that way. I didn't know how to do my makeup. I didn't know how to do the walk. Trying to look at clothes, I was like, those look good together, right? And really it was stripes and polka dots. So from that to going to where I can comfortably and with confidence walk into a room, be able to do the strut. I'm wearing a nice outfit that I picked out myself. And then I'm able to do my makeup, not constantly asking people, how do I do my eyebrows again? That is a huge part of my biography that I feel that everyone needs to know, because people who don't feel that they can do that, I am a prime example of, yeah, absolutely, you can do it. Everybody can do it. And I want them to see that they can. And I definitely will help anybody who.
Okay, so actually, I can tell everybody here that Tristan is a massage therapist, and she really knows what she's doing, because during the pageant week, she offered to do a massage. This was after the pageant, everyone. So please, there's no conflict of interest. But she knew I was like in so much pain, and that's what happens when you're on the go all the time, and everything. So she came up to my working area at the hotel and she's like, let me give you a massage. And boy, it was so good. And I could say, you know, like she's very talented when it comes to that. So, so anybody who really, who's based in Saskatchewan and you need a massage therapist, you have our Miss Canadian Tourism International who can do it for you. So now, let's start now with talking about how was the first 3 days, the regional assessment for you? What have you learned? And I would like to know it from your own perspective.
I was scared. Absolutely. I didn't know what to expect. I've never done pageants before. Didn't really know anything about beauty other than fairly self-taught. So it was hard to try and learn. It was a whole bunch of information that's like, here you go. Here's this. Here's that. Which I did get, and I worked very hard to do it. And it paid off, absolutely. And in those 3 days, I bonded with a bunch of different ladies, not even just in the Miss category. I made friends in the teen category, the Miss Teen, Miss Petite Teen, and then as well as the Miss Petite, which is fairly awesome. I'm getting to make friends with people from all over Canada, not just Saskatchewan and in my small little town of Moose Jaw. I'm meeting people from all over the place, and it is a wonderful thing to try and absorb in the beginning. It's a bit much, but you're not going to regret a moment of it.
Well, let me tell everyone, Tristan, aside from being a massage therapist, she's also in in the armed forces. She's a cadet, and she is also in works in automotive. So if you see, like, there's like the feminine side of it is like not really saying not to existent, but like it was a challenge for you, Tristan, but it transformed you. Look at you now, you know. So tell us about that. Like, what have you learned from those training? What are the training sessions that you had?
Okay, well, the main one that I remember, which was a one-on-one, was with Meji. Absolutely wonderful lady. And I can't say that it could have been any better. She took me to the side. We were walking back and forth. She kept telling me this is something I needed to correct. And she wasn't mean about it. It was helpful criticism or critiquing, I think is the correct word. I can't remember, but she was absolutely helpful in it. And even when it came to makeup, she told me the little differences that I didn't know about things because I rushed with my learning. And to have somebody who can go through things one step at a time, who can find the things to get you to where you need to be is phenomenal. Having someone like that is who you need. And those are the people you want to have as your supports, as your teachers, or even as kind of like your manager, as you could say, the one who teaches you everything that's in your back corner.
So how does it feel trying to do your hair and makeup after the training?
It's a lot easier, and I find myself a lot pickier. Before it was like, okay, quickly put it up in a bun, because a few years ago I had very long hair, and okay, quick braid, quick bun. I don't have to do nothing with it. I didn't really do anything girly enough anyways. And now it's like, oh, you want some French braids? I'll put some in, some Dutch. I can make wonderful tiny little curls, the big ones to my makeup. It's like, oh, I originally first put on just eyeliner, mascara, lipstick, and that's all I did for makeup. I knew nothing else. And now I can get my makeup done in about 15 minutes and have it looking like this from waking up in the morning and you've got bedhead.
So how about the confidence level training? Tell us something about that.
Okay. The best example I had that I can give everyone here today is during our 10-day pageant of the original going from regionals into the nationals with all the ladies that we're doing interviews with today and for this week. We went over a bunch of personal stories to each other that you wouldn't normally say to anybody. And that's how our sisterhood began. And we helped each other grow to where we can say things. We can walk into a room and okay, we can have this big old smile. We can make that room happy because all of us have worked hard on helping each other out so you can bring out that smile. And I think that is the best confidence training that I was given throughout my time in the pageant, as well as like the walking. But for myself, that's always been the hardest thing for me to try and learn.
Well, now you can walk in heels, right? So I've seen you. When you competed in Malaysia, like you were walking the walk. So, and now let's talk about. I know I'm some of the girls, especially like in your situation, who's not really the girly girl. What was the feeling for you walking in a swimsuit?
It was really awkward. For myself, before the pageant, I have a twist of burst of energy where I have all the confidence in the world, nothing can bring me down. And then it was to where I got to wear as much clothing as possible. You can't see my skin. So going into that without practicing swimsuit walking before going, I felt very awkward at first. And I was like, everybody's gonna be staring at me, my friends, my coworkers. I don't know how to feel about this. And it was very emotional in the beginning because I didn't know how to feel about it. But you asked me to do it right now. Okay, I'll put my swimsuit on and let's go it. Maybe let's hit the beach on the way too.
So I'm glad that you actually now isn't like enjoying the swimsuit part. Like it's again it's a boost up to expressing your womanhood and loving you for you. So now let's start talking about the national pageant. How was the national pageant week for you?
I don't it didn't seem like much of a competition in the sense we had so much fun in those days. And I know like it may have seemed like a competition that we're all trying to go for these different titles, but in the way that we did it, it was so fun. Like say for karaoke, who doesn't have fun singing? And if you can sing funny along with it, or if you sing good, it's it's a great way to bond and it's fun and it doesn't feel like you're competing and it's a better environment to be around. And same when we went to the dancing, everybody was doing salsa and then we did some disco. And well, as everyone knows, we're quite young to be back where they did the real disco. So we were all doing the funky chicken. And I think through all of these things that were part of our competition, it was more fun and bonding.
That's good to hear. Now, let's talk about your experience doing fashion shows in the pageant week, because that was 3 days of fashion shows, 3 shows in one day.
Hmm.
Tell us something about that.
I didn't know you could change that fast. And do your touch ups with your makeup, or if you have a slight hair change difference, you gotta know how to move. Other than that, I thought it was thrilling. It was exciting and new. I wasn't sure how this was all going, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. And wonderful that we were able to wear Kim's actual dresses that he made, and that we presented them out on the walk. And I felt like I was a real model. I felt like I was doing the big game where everybody's got the big cameras on me. I felt like I was the biggest star in the world.
So let's talk about the final night. From your own perspective, please tell us something about that night.
The final night, everybody was on nerve end, absolutely, because this is where everything's ending, where we're going to be saying goodbye, because we're going back to our different provinces and our towns. Not real goodbyes, because we're still talk to each other and we do see each other through chats, but it's an emotional time because you're not going to see them for a while and you don't know what's going to happen. You see how people really are, and you get to say goodbye to these wonderful people that you can't wait to see again. And you see the difference from the very first day you stepped in, even from the very first day that you put your name on that application. You see the difference that you've done for yourself. And I think that is the best part of the experience at the very end. Not the crying because you won, not the crying because, like, well, yes, partially crying because you're of all these friends that you made, but the biggest accomplishment for you is what you have accomplished from the very first day of you making that application to where you are now.
So you've been crowned Miss Canadian Tourism International. Tell us what preparations you have done prior to your international pageant.
I had a scramble for time for that because I wasn't originally with this title. So it was absolutely thrilling and exciting, and I was rushing things. I'm like, oh, I got to do this, I have to do that. And my brain was exploding with ideas. I was talking to all these different kinds of people to see who could help me out, and I met wonderful people throughout it, and lots of sponsors that I'm excited that they allowed me to do this and do this for our country. And there's nothing better than that, than having all these people behind your back rooting for you, and rooting knowing that you're not doing it just for yourself. You're doing it for a lot more than just yourself.
So tell us about your experience traveling to Malaysia and competing for the Miss Canadian Tourism for the Miss Tourism International pageant. Let's take us back on the first day that you landed in Malaysia. Actually, you visited the Philippines before Malaysia, right? So tell us, talk to us about your journey.
I had very long flights and layovers. So it was about, I don't know, I think it was about a 11-hour flight to get to Manila, and I had a 5 or 7 hour layover, I think. And so I was pretty tired, and then finally flew, which was about, I think, 3 hours. I don't know the times very well, how long they were. Then we got to Kuala Lumpur, and I was just tired. I've been on the plane for 2 days. I'm trying to like change in the washrooms and get prettied up and get there. I'm excited. I'm starting to come in the lineup, and I'm like, okay, we can't really talk to them yet because we're still going through customs. But the moment we got through customs, all of us gathered together. There was about 5 of us, and we're instantly taking selfies, introducing ourselves. We were thrilled and excited, no matter how tired we were from the flights. And we got back to the hotel instantly. instantly we're doing photo shoots. Grab our stuff from our luggage, grab our makeup, whatever we needed, and rush downstairs and start this up for the photo shoot. And we had to do about 5 different ones. Our national costume, our evening gown, a cocktail. We had to do one that's kind of like wearing a shirt, so that's just a face portfolio. And I can't remember what one was. However, we had these photos to do, and I'm just tired. I'm like, I'm trying to look pretty and alive for these, but I'm so tired. So that was my very first day of excitement, but so tired. But
So
throughout that,
tell us about like the experience of competing with the other girls in like from different parts of the world.
well, the first thing I gotta say, the very first thing, you're never gonna meet these ladies, meet these kinds of ladies ever again. That's how wonderful they are. I felt comfortable the moment I went in. I was excited. We were basically a family already, and it was the very first day of us being there.
How
I'm
was
sorry.
how was the how was the experience though, like experiencing different kinds of food there, going to different sceneries and meeting different people, government officials. Tell us how that went.
Um, well, normally every second day we were out for supper at different kinds of restaurants that were sponsoring the pageant. And so we tried different cuisines. For example, we got to try traditional Korean food, which I've never tried before, and it was actually pretty good. Um, we tried a couple traditional dishes from Kuala Lumpur. I don't remember what they're called, and I probably can't pronounce it. Um, as well as we tried Taiwan food, some Japanese food, and we had Pizza Hut, which is Western food, but we had different kinds of cuisines there to try the different cultures. And I think that that was a wonderful experience. And then we can kind of see how other people, like what they normally eat, because not everybody eats the same thing. For example, in Canada, we've got so many different kinds of dishes where if you go somewhere else, rice could be like the main thing, which I love rice, which is why it's an example. Um, and if we go on to meeting officials, I don't think many of us were actually nervous with meeting anybody. Um, we were excited. We were just too excited to be there and for the experience, where we were just little balls of energy waiting for our turn where we could introduce ourselves. And I think everybody was comfortable. Nobody was feeling like, oh, that person's is like the president of Miss Tourism International, Daniel Z. It Nobody was like, oh, I'm gonna just stay over here. Nobody was shy. Everybody was excited and friendly. Friendly and family manner is the best way to put it. And
How does it feel wearing Canada in your chest and representing your country in the international event?
I felt very honored and proud, and it took me back when I was there, and I'm like, I'm representing Canada. I'm really doing this. And it's hard to try and explain such a wonderful feeling of excitement, and there's nothing sad about it. It's just you're so excited and happy and thrilled, and you're doing this, you're doing it for other people. People are cheering you on, and to have a feeling like that is absolutely wonderful.
Thank you. Now, what have you been doing towards with your title as Miss Canadian Tourism International?
Before and as I've been doing, as I've had this title of Miss Tourism International, I have been with the Navy League Cadet program here in Canada, in my unit in Moose Jaw as their training officers. So I was doing training schedules as well as teaching them classes of different sorts that have to do with naval knowledge, as well as during my reign, I've also gone and joined other organizations to try and help out, like Journey to Hope. There was the Alzheimer's Walk. I've also helped out with a few other different kinds of organizations with that. However, I had to put a lot of it on the side due to dealing with family problems. So I couldn't do as much as I wanted or had planned.
And again, Tristan, you've been strong, and as you know, we have kept you in our prayers, and we say and express our condolences with you for losing your stepfather and losing your uncle. So again, please know that we are here for you, and you're doing great. You're looking beautiful, so that's important. Now let's talk about the Sisterhood Mentorship Program from your own perspective, Tristan.
So for everybody who doesn't even know what this program is, the Sisterhood program is a program for all of us queens and sisters, for people who are going to be joining us, to help each other out. And this can be in multiple different kinds of ways. This could be personal for yourself, where you have a problem and you need a friend or a family member just to listen. One of us will definitely step up to the plate. You have questions of just something you just don't have the knowledge for, and you figured, hey, maybe one of them will know. You can definitely put your question up and we can try and help you out as best as we can. If someone's having a rough day, we're going to be definitely there. We're going to be putting that smile back on your face. This program it's named the Sisterhood program for a reason. We act as sisters, not just because it's called the Sisterhood program. It's because we want to be there, and we look at each other as family. We're not just looking at each other as someone that we saw each other for 10 days with. It's you're my family and we're going to help you. And if you choose to join our family, we're going to help you as well. If you don't join our family and you ask for our help, we're still going to help you anyways, because it's what we do. It's part of our program. And that is my opinion on our program.
Thank you. So now, if for any girl that's watching right now, anyone who wants to experience pageantry, what would you tell them?
If you have that slight thought, or even as a little girl where you thought that it'd be something that you want to do, I think you should do it. When I was a little girl, I had that slight thought. I pushed it away for years because I didn't think I could do it. You need to do it, not because I'm telling you, but because your heart is telling you that that's what you wanted to do. And if it turns out that it's not for you, then at least you did it. At least you tried and you saw it, and you're going to learn so much from it that it's not going to be a bad experience, and it's going to be worth it, whether or not it's something that you want to continue with.
Okay, so now I'd like to ask you, if anyone who wants you to mentor them, how can they reach you?
So if anyone would like to contact me for mentorship or just questions on pageantry, you can get a hold of me through my Facebook, the best way. My name is Tristan Johnson England, and then I have a Facebook page, which is Tristan Johnson England, Miss Canadian Tourism International 2019-2020. It might take a little bit to get to you. However, I will get back to you as soon as I can.
Okay. And any message to everyone in Canada, especially of the situation that we're on with pandemic and also with the shootings that happened in Nova Scotia and the flooding that's happening in Fort McMurray, and then where it's close to you, where the 5 Canadian Navy officers died in a helicopter crash in Europe. What is your message that you would like to say to the world?
The world is going through a very tough time, and we all need to be strong to get through it. Even if there's something that you don't like or someone you don't like, we got to put our differences aside and we got to work together. We don't always have to like each other, but we got to look out for each other. Otherwise, why are we fighting for this world? This is what we're here for. We're going to make it better. So stay strong, stay positive, keep in contact with people, check on your friends, check on your families. And don't forget, you need to love and take care of yourself as well. And that's what I have to share with the world.
Thank you so much, Tristan, for joining and spending time with me, for people to get to know you very well. And again, I'm so proud of you. You've come a long way, and keep moving up because you have a brighter future ahead of you. I know that.
Thanks. I love you, Maya, and thank you for having me, and have a good evening.
I love you too.